Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm reacting to Are Jnana and Bhakti two sides of the same coin? Is one higher than the other? Jnana versus Bhakti from Swami Sarvarpiananda. So I'll say this. Yes. I guess I thought maybe it says is one better than the other, and I'll say yes. Jnana obviously is better. For people who find that devotion is not their thing. And Bhakti is better for those people who find devotion to be their thing. So I'm saying they're both better, of course. It's a matter of whatever suits you the best, of course. That's going to be better for you. Now, two sides of the same coin. I thought about this just a little bit before starting this recording. I was thinking, it's like, I've heard that phrase before. I don't know if I fully understand it apparently now, as I think about it. But you can say, like, well, that's not really a coin, but anyways, the coin being enlightenment. And you have Jnana and Bhakti on one side, two sides of the same coin, because both of them will reach you to enlightenment, but two different paths. I started thinking about Batman, about the two sides of the same coin. It's like Batman and Penguin, if you know. You know, Batman is not an evil person, but he does evil things in a sense because he does vigilante justice, and Penguin's like a villain, so he does injustice in the world. And some people can say that Batman and Penguin are kind of two sides of the same coin. They both do evil things because Ventilante. Now I can't pronounce it. Vigilante justice is not considered to be a good thing. Yeah. I guess it's Oh my gosh. You get what I'm saying, no? So, anyways, let's hear what Swami here has to say.
Yeah, it's
Jadish Singh asks, in the Gospel, Sri Ramakrishna says to Swami Vivekananda, you think you are a Jnana, but in reality you are a Bhakta. You think I am a Bhakta, but in reality I am a Jnani. What did he mean by this? Are Bhakti and Jnana two sides of the same coin? You have also said that between Bhakti and Jnana, Bhakti is greater, but there is nothing higher or lower in Jnani. Can you please explain? And we have a similar question from Deepti Thakur. Swamiji, you mentioned that Jnana Yoga is the highest form of yoga, whereas in the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna states that Bhakti Yoga is the highest. Can you explain?
Yes, both are higher.
all right. Age-old quarrel between the way of knowledge and way of devotion. So the first quote, which he gives in the gospel, actually that's not quite right. He says, Sri Ramakrishna said to Vivekananda, but that's not true. That it's not there in the gospel. It is actually Vivekananda himself who said that you think I am a jnani, but I am all love inside. And the old man, he was bhakti on the outside. Inside he was all jnana. That old man means Sri Ramakrishna. So that's a quote from Vivekananda. But anyway, the point...
Hold on, gotta rewind that. The old man, he was bhakti on the outside, but he was jnana. He was all jnana. Inside he was all jnana. Huh. Now, mind you, listening to Sri Ramakrishna's story, I did believe it to be bhakti yoga because he always was at the feet of, I believe, Kali? Always crying, wanting the mother, wanting acknowledgement and everything, like every night, just constantly weeping at her feet, I believe. Or, well, is it at her feet or at where she was or thought to be was? Because I believe he saw her, went over there, and I don't remember if it's been a little bit since I saw the story or heard the story, but I don't know if she was there anymore. Like maybe a statue was there as opposed to actually her. So he saw her, Kali, I believe, and the real Kali, and then went over there, and then she disappeared, but the statue was there, I believe. So the distinction between real Kali as opposed to the statue of Kali. So he constantly prayed at the feet of that statue and cried. Okay. Huh. How is he?
Point is correct. But whatever has been asked in the question, the point is correct. That we think of Sri Ramakrishna, and with good reason. If you see the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, if you read the life of Sri Ramakrishna, he is a devotee. He is a child of the mother.
Oh, Kali, yeah.
Mother,
That's right.
Divine Mother, Kali.
I have a brain.
For him, God was mother. And he always had the attitude of a child to the mother with regard to God. Now, so we have solid grounds for thinking of Sri Ramakrishna as a devotee, as a lover of God, as a bhakta. And if you see the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna in the Kathamrita, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, it is predominantly bhakti, and he often recommends bhakti very in no uncertain terms. On the other hand, Vivekananda, especially his talks here in the West and also in India, predominantly Vedanta, and his life and his teachings from Sri Ramakrishna predominantly a path of knowledge, realization of who am I am that limitless Brahman. But here Vivekananda says, it's only what you're seeing is the surface. On the outside, Sri Ramakrishna is bhakti, inside he is all jnana. On the outside, I seem to be jnana, knowledge, but inside I am a bhakta. I am very soft indeed, he says. I have the heart of a woman, he says, inside. So, what does it mean? I think it's true for all of us. All of us have elements of this knowledge and devotion, love and knowledge. Now, depending on what is expressed outside, people might categorize you as somebody on the path of knowledge. You might yourself categorize yourself as somebody on the path of knowledge. And the devotional aspect might be the love aspect might be a very private thing within you. Others might not see it, or might see less of it. Or the reverse might be true. That you might be regarded as a devotee, a person who loves and worships and adores God, and the knowledge aspect of it might be hidden, sort of at your core, an inner aspect of it. I think it was the great psychoanalyst Jung who pointed out that every person has the male and the female within themselves. Similarly, bhakti and jnana. One of Vivekananda's compositions about Sri Ramakrishna, it goes like this, that outside he put on the radiant cloth of bhakti, and inside advaya tattva samahita chittam, his mind was constantly centered in the non-dual Brahman, Sri Ramakrishna. About Vivekananda, Swami Premeshanandaji wrote a song which has the names of Sri Ramakrishna, Ma Sharada, Vivekananda, and all the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, and a descriptive word or two about each of them. About Vivekananda, Swami Premeshanandaji writes, Parama Dayala, one of a great heart, the tremendous compassion. So somebody asked Swami Premeshananda that we know Vivekananda is this great yogi, this dynamic worker, this great person of philosophy and knowledge. But why did you write Parama Dayala, of great compassion? And so Premeshanandaji replied that who had a heart like Vivekananda's, and you will realize as you go forward in life, he was all compassion for all of us. On a personal note, if I ask you, what do you think my preeminent disposition is?
Jnana. Well, I don't know. I don't see him personally every day, so he could be Raja in terms of meditation. Just because obviously meditation's usually, I believe, done privately, and you teach it publicly. Of course, you have to teach it publicly, and maybe you do a couple of private sessions where you do it, in public or private. But clearly not. Karma is all of us. That no one escapes karma.
So you're laughing. It seems like a no-brainer, what the Americans call a no-brainer. So many people think, Yes, my preeminent disposition is knowledge, the path of knowledge, the path of non-duality. I remember a very senior monk was one of my mentors who said to me long ago, more than 20 years ago, he said to me, stop doing that. This I am Brahman, Advaita, non-duality. Your path is devotion. Your path. You are a bhakta inside. So, that. And the other point which was raised was that I have said that which is greater among the two, bhakti is the highest. In Jnana there is no higher and lower. Actually, I was quoting a monk, a traditional non-dualist monk from the Himalayas, who was asked this question. So it was a provocative question because he was clearly a non-dualist, Advaitin. He was asked in Hindi, Kaun badi, Jnana ya bhakti? Who is greater, knowledge or devotion? And the monk's startling answer was, Bhakti badi hai. Devotion is, love is higher. And everybody was taken aback. They didn't expect that answer from that monk, because that monk is clearly someone on the path of knowledge. So they asked him, Bhakti badi hai to gyan kya hai? Well, if devotion, love is greater, then what about knowledge? And then the monk replied, Gyan mein koi bada chota nahi hota hai. In knowledge there is no higher or lower. See how beautifully he brought out the two sides. What is the most, I'll put it this way, provocatively. What is the most precious thing in life? What is the greatest thing in life one can achieve? The moment you achieve it, you will be permanently, unshakably fulfilled and happy. What's this most precious thing? It is love of God. Bhakti, devotion. And what about knowledge? Knowledge is truth. A monk put it this way. If you want to sleep peacefully at night, do karma yoga. Be selfless in life. You will have a great load off your back. Our selfishness is the load that we carry on our backs. And he says, if you want great peace of mind, practice Raja Yoga, deep meditation. If you want happiness, practice Bhakti Yoga. You will be immediately happy. Fall in love with God. You'll be immediately happy. But if you want truth, Jnana Yoga.
Okay, I was gonna ask. Okay, you should have asked that monk. What about Raja Yoga, meditation? What about Karma Yoga, actions? And well, there he goes. He answered it. Because obviously, what else can you say? Like nothing's higher than love, or love is the highest, and all of a sudden, truth or thought is nothing is higher or lower. And what do you say about meditation? Is it at the peak of the mountain? At the peak of the top. And what about Karma Yoga? Everything's above it and below it. I don't know. You know?
The other part of the question was that in Gita, right?
Well, you mentioned that Jnana Yoga is the highest form of yoga, whereas in the Bhagavad Gita...
Yes. Yes.
In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna states that Bhakti Yoga is the highest.
Right. This is a reference to the 12th chapter where Arjuna asks, so you have taught me these two paths, the path of the unmanifest of existence, consciousness, bliss, the pure consciousness, and the path of devotion to God. Which is higher? Who is the greater yogi? And Krishna in no uncertain terms says that the path of devotion is better. But he says not higher, he says it is easier.
Mm-hmm.
The path of attainment of the unmanifest, of pure consciousness, of realization of yourself as pure consciousness, Krishna says that it is attended to by greater difficulties. That's all. And then he also goes on to say that those who walk on the path of knowledge, or path of realization of I am Brahman, they too will attain the same reality. See, the insight of Sri Ramakrishna, Vivekananda was that these are different constitutions of our minds. Our spiritual life has it has not started in this life, contrary to whatever you might think. Many people come and say, I wish I had known about this earlier. You knew about it earlier. You've known about it in past lives. You've just come back to it again. So we have been developing in a particular way for a long time. So that accounts for our tendencies. So something might come much more easily to you. If it comes more easily to you, if it seems more real to you, it seems more live to you, then that's your path. That doesn't mean the other path is lower or less important. Another person might take to that path more easily. Our constitutions are a little different, and therefore the path of bhakti might be suitable to many, many people. Path of jnana also might be suitable to many people. There are people who cannot believe in God straight away, unfortunately. They're skeptical, and with good reason. In this day and age, there are more and more such people. And I've seen a lot of people benefit from the path of knowledge. A lot of people. And I've seen a lot of people coming to the path of knowledge, drawn to that, getting some conviction in that, clarity in that, and then developing bhakti. That has also happened.
I was just thinking to myself, like, I wonder if I follow Bhakti Yoga. I was just thinking along the lines, like, I don't know. It's kind of hard if you don't believe in a god or any gods. But I do believe in humanity. And I was thinking along the lines of, what do you call it? Because whenever I think of things that I cannot, like, remember, I said this in a few videos in the past, where there's two things you can do. Whenever a situation comes up, there's two things you can do. You can either do something about it, or you can't do anything about it. If you can't do anything about it, well then, why worry about it? There's nothing you can do. And in a lot of sense, that is kind of like Bhakti Yoga in terms of issues in life. Like, well, you do the best you can and let God handle the rest. It's the saying, So that's kind of like, I did all I can and nothing else I can do about it, so I'll let God handle it. That's the same thing. It's very similar to my thoughts, except that I don't add God to it. I just understand that, I did the best that I could, and things will just fall into place, however they may. And I'll handle the situation as they come along, and can I do something about it, or I can't do anything about it. So those two options always come up whenever I believe only those two options come up whenever a situation occurs. Either you can or can't do something about it. And if you can't, there's no reason to worry. You're worrying for something you cannot change. Obviously, you as time goes and you learn, maybe I can do something about it. The situation comes up again. Now, it becomes one. You can do something about it. Are you going to do something about it, or are you not going to do something about it? Meaning that you can still choose not to do anything about it and just let it go. It's like, okay, I'm not going to do anything about it, and all of a sudden it bites you in the butt later on. It's like, well, I chose that path. I deserve this result. And so I win $1 million. That's the path I chose. No, but like if you understand that, you're like, oh my gosh, I should have chosen the other path. This sucks. But if you can accept the consequences of your actions, it goes back to karma, then I think you'll suffer less in life. Don't get me wrong, you'll still suffer, especially if it's pretty bad. But at least if you understand that you have made decisions in life, you have the power to make changes in your life, that you can get better outcomes, you could say. It's never guaranteed, but at the very least, when you know that you made a choice, you can accept the result of those choices. And when you can accept the result of those choices, regardless of whether good or bad, I think you'll suffer less in life. It's not to say that you'll never suffer, but I said suffer less. Anyways, that's my reaction to our Jnana and Bhakti, two sides of the same coin. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up the sign down below. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next vid.